My dad signed away my name, ignored me starving, then demanded an expensive dinner, so do I cut him out? Okay, so that message hit different. I stared at my phone. My hands went cold immediately. I mean, are you kidding? Right then, my stomach flipped. I locked my jaw. And here is where it gets worse. I pulled my hospital discharge summary. It listed severe malnutrition, weight 80 pounds, body mass index 16, dehydration, suicidal ideation flagged. My call log showed 23 unanswered calls to him. 1 voicemail at 2 in the morning begging for food. Adoption termination papers. I pressed call, breathing shallow. Dad, I need groceries. His voice went flat. I can't. Please. I'm losing weight. And then he goes, I have my own family. My grip tightened. So I'm not. Figure it out like adults. My throat burned. I'm 19, Dad. He hung up. Silence hovered. That night, I opened the court file, termination of parental rights, consented without objection. Date stamped March 3rd, when I was 15. Hospital chart listed 6 prior admissions in 4 months. Therapy scheduled 3 times weekly since September. My voicemail folder held 23 messages to him, all unanswered. Enough. The psychiatrist scooted her chair closer. Her voice stayed calm. Listen. If he reaches out again, answer nothing. She tapped the chart. 1 more crash like this, and your body could give out. Permanent damage is on the table. Worst case, we lose you. Cut contact or I call crisis. I tried the police anyway. The desk officer shrugged hard. No crime for emotional neglect of adults. Family court will not reopen termination papers. Human resources at work warned me gently. Professional boundaries only. No confrontations on site. My messages to his girlfriend bounced. I just stood there thinking, great. Now what? Part of me wanted to ghost forever. Part of me needed answers. I requested copies from records. They printed the adoption packet. I took photos, then drove home. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why poke a bruise this deep? Because the bruise keeps calling. His text popped again that evening. He wanted to meet tomorrow. Dinner at the steak place downtown. My leg bounced nonstop reading it. I screenshotted, then opened voice memos. I recorded myself rehearsing boundaries. Only coffee, public place, no girlfriend. The timestamp showed yesterday. He had been circling for days. I texted him 2 lines. I typed slowly. Coffee, 30 minutes, public. His reply landed fast. Dinner, you owe me. I breathed out hard. I don't owe anything. The phone works both ways. I drafted and deleted 3 responses. Then I called my therapist. Voicemail, so I left details. After I messaged my mom, he texted you again. I leaned on the sink. Yeah, do not meet him. Her voice was tight. Promise. I promised and kept typing anyway. I needed 1 clean goodbye, so I agreed to coffee. Next afternoon, lobby cafe, bright lights. Then things went sideways. His girlfriend showed up smiling. I grabbed the table nearest security. He strolled in with her attached. I waved once, then sat straighter. She dragged a chair without asking. My dad scanned me up and down. He looked like his shift ended. He smiled big, like old buddies. I folded my hands to stop shaking. He dropped the first line immediately. So, dinner after this. I stared at the clock. Coffee only. He shrugged. You owe me, though. My voice stayed even. For what? For stress, for worry, for years. I could taste acid rising. I pulled out the printed papers. I slid them across the table. His smile faded when he recognized them. Petition to terminate legal parentage. Your signature is right there. He pushed the papers back. Old news. It was March 3rd. My voice thinned. I was 15. Your mom wanted it. You never called me once. He lifted his hands like surrender. She angled forward, voice sweet and sharp. You seem fine now. I pointed to the call log. 14. 14 voicemails during starvation. He scoffed. I was broke too. Then why dinner now? His jaw worked without words forming. The girlfriend checked her nails. Amused, heat rose under my skin. I waited. He finally exhaled and leaned back. Then he dropped the grenade. I feared you'd kill yourself. My throat tightened. You never called. He reached for my hand. I worried. I pulled away. That isn't love. Security glanced over from the desk. The girlfriend started recording on her phone. Now, I know what you're thinking. This is a trap, right? Exactly how it looked. I stood and motioned to security. They approached us slowly, watching. One officer asked, Everything okay here? We're fine, just leaving. But my dad blocked the aisle. He wanted me to apologize. And that is when it happened. He stepped closer and raised his voice. You owe me, remember. People turned, eyes narrowing. I hit record on my phone. Tell them why, Dad. For the worry, the sleepless nights. I pointed to the camera. Say it. His voice cracked. I chose her. The girlfriend laughed and waved. I pivoted toward security again. This is harassment at my workplace. The guard nodded, radioed his boss. He asked them to leave now. She smirked. Make us. Another guard arrived, bigger, calmer. They began escorting them toward doors. My dad twisted back to face me. Dinner fixes everything, kiddo. Kiddo scraped across my nerves. I moved back toward the desk. Security kept them moving forward. My phone vibrated in my palm. Voicemail from Human Resources. Urgent. Meeting scheduled for tomorrow morning. Subject line mentioned professional conduct. I swallowed hard and mouthed thanks. My mom texted, "Are you safe?" I answered fast. "Yeah, for now." But the girlfriend spun free suddenly. She snapped a photo inches away. "See you at dinner, sweetheart." Security pushed them out the doors. My heart raced and wouldn't settle. Do I block him completely now? Or walk into that meeting alone? Because tomorrow decides everything. Morning came faster than sleep. I walked into human resources early and kept my hands still. The manager waited with a folder between us. My chest thudded like I just finished sprinting. She closed the door and nodded toward a chair. "Okay," she began, voice calm. "We received a complaint from a visitor about harassment in the lobby. She claimed you escalated a family argument at work." I told her the security footage will show him approaching me. The manager lifted the folder but didn't open it. "Even if it does, you engaged on duty. That can't happen." My palms prickled now. "I know what you're thinking. Tiny town, impossible to avoid him. Right? But policies do not care." She leaned forward and spoke slower. "One more incident, and you're suspended pending review." My throat tightened hard. I asked for guidance. She slid over a pamphlet for workplace safety. "Document, then request a restraining order. Hospital counsel can help." I walked out steadier than I felt. In the stairwell, I opened notes and wrote a script. No contact, no meetings, written boundaries only. Then I called the courthouse to ask about filings. Clerk's voice was brisk. "File today, get a hearing within 2 weeks. Bring evidence." Evidence. I had. I reached out to medical records for a certified copy of those admissions. I emailed security for the lobby footage. I texted my therapist and asked for a letter describing risk. Then I drove to the county records building. I requested the adoption file. Full docket. The clerk pulled a thin box and placed it down. Inside was a motion to terminate, a waiver, and a stipulation. The stipulation stopped child support arrears if he consented. There it was, not love. A ledger. My hand shook over the counter. The clerk looked sympathetic. "Do you want certified copies?" I nodded because words weren't happening. She printed, stamped, and stapled. The receipt showed $10, paid. Then I understood the dinner ask. He needed a meal and a rewrite. He wanted me to be the daughter who forgot the math. I parked outside the courthouse and dialed him. He answered on the first ring. "Why did you sign away for arrears?" His silence stretched, then broke. "Your mom wanted it done. The stipulation forgave your debt. True or not?" Breathing through his nose, he murmured. "I couldn't afford it, so you traded me." His voice dropped. "I thought you'd be happier." My leg bounced harder, and yesterday, you brought her to my job. She goes everywhere with me. I ended the call before I screamed. Then I forwarded the documents to my email and saved them to a folder named Boundaries. I met hospital counsel after lunch. She reviewed my packet with careful eyes and underlined 3 lines. "This supports a civil harassment order. We can write an affidavit now." I signed each page. She guided my pen to the right blanks. We scheduled filing for first thing tomorrow. On my way out, my phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number lit the screen. It was his girlfriend. "Dinner tonight, or we post your meltdown video." My stomach twisted so hard I stopped moving. She followed with another text. "The hospital should see how unprofessional you are." I screenshotted. Then forwarded to counsel and HR car. "Extortion attempt from visitor." Counsel replied fast. "Do not respond. We add it to the affidavit." Part of me wanted to throw my phone in a river. Part of me wanted to meet and record everything. I drove home and locked both bolts. Then I opened my laptop and built a timeline. Dates, calls, admissions, adoption, texts. I called my mom on speaker. "Can you testify if needed?" Her voice went steady. "I'll do whatever protects you. Do you have proof of those weekend neglect years?" I kept notes back then. "Bring them tomorrow morning." I exhaled slowly and let my shoulders drop. At dusk, the texts returned. "We are outside." A photo followed of my street. My pulse spiked. I called non-emergency for patrol. Dispatcher logged the call and asked for descriptions. I described her car and their faces. "Units will sweep the block." I shut my blinds and stayed away from the windows. A knock landed anyway. 3 quick taps at my door. I held my breath and watched through the peephole. Nothing. Then the knock repeated, slower. I called my mom again on speaker. "Do not open it." "I'm not." Another text arrived, "Dinner." Now, my jaw locked hard. Patrol lights finally swept past my curtains. The knocking stopped. The photo and texts deleted themselves on her end. I captured the notifications anyway with screen recordings. Morning filing felt like an exam. We queued outside the courtroom until our case number got called. Hospital counsel read through the affidavit once more and passed me a pen. The judge glanced over the binder. Temporary order granted for 14 days. No contact. No approach. Workplace inclusion. My knees wobbled with relief and leftover adrenaline. Now, I know what you're thinking. Finally, protection. Yes, but here is where it gets crazy. An email hit my inbox as we stepped into the hallway. HR had placed me on administrative leave, pending investigation, due to a visitor complaint. My chest went hollow. Counsel squeezed my shoulder and kept her tone steady. "We appeal this." Focus on safety first. I nodded and walked toward the exit with my mom outside. My phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered, cautious. This is Detective Rowe with the city police. We received your report and saw the footage. We need you to come in this afternoon. My stomach twisted again, but this time it came with a strange steadiness. I could do this. I drove to the station and checked in. The detective walked me to a small room and clicked on a recorder. Tell me about the adoption stipulation, she requested. I laid out the dates and the arrears forgiveness. Details spilled out while my hands stayed clasped. I explained the lobby footage, the doorstep knocking, the dinner demand, the late birthday texts, the arrears waiver. Rowe wrote slowly, then looked up. Okay, 2 things. The girlfriend crossed into extortion. Your father violated workplace boundaries under a standing order. We can seek charges for harassment and stalking. My jaw eased just a little. What happens next? She rested her pen. We call them in today. Do not respond to any messages. If they appear, call 911. I nodded. She slid me a card, Victim Services, 24/7, use it. Outside the station, my phone buzzed again, unknown number. I ignored it and kept walking. Minutes later, Rowe called my cell. We reached them. Your father is here with counsel. The girlfriend refused to come in. We issued a summons. My shoulders raised and held, then lowered. Thank you. She paused. One more thing. He claims you owe him money. I laughed, too sharp. For what? Oxygen. She did not laugh. Document all financial requests, she advised. He may escalate. That night, I double-checked locks, brewed tea, and opened a blank document. Now, I know what you're thinking. Write the no-contact letter, right? I drafted 3 versions. The final one was simple. You will not contact me. You will not come to my home, my workplace, or my car. Violations go to police. I printed it and sealed an envelope. Then I stopped and breathed. Part of me wanted to write forgive. Part of me wanted to write never. Before bed, my phone lit with an alert. New comment under my workplace photo. The girlfriend had posted a blurry clip of the cafe. Caption: she owes her dad an apology. My stomach tightened again. I forwarded it to Rowe and HR, then powered down. Sleep took forever, but morning still arrived. The hearing for the protective order landed fast. Courtroom, rows, cold air, everyone whispering. I stood when the judge entered. My knees wanted to click. They didn't. The clerk called our case. He sat 2 tables away, alone. No girlfriend. He avoided my eyes. The judge looked over the binder and lifted a page. These texts are clear. She pressed her lips. Sir, did you visit her workplace after being warned? His voice came out thin. I just wanted dinner. The judge stared. That is not an answer. He swallowed. Yes. She leaned forward. Do you understand the order? He nodded once. My attorney has concerns. The judge lifted a hand. You will comply. She turned to me. Do you wish to speak? I kept my voice steady. I want safety. Nothing else. She signed the extension. 90 days. No contact. No approach. Social media included. Outside, he hovered by the steps until Rowe appeared. She positioned herself between us. You will leave now, he muttered, almost to himself. She owes me. Rowe did not blink. Leave. He shuffled off toward the lot. 2 days later, HR called me back in. The manager had different eyes this time. Administrative leave lifted. Investigation closed. She gestured to the chair. We reviewed the footage, the detective report, and the order. You followed direction. I exhaled. My shoulders softened. She slid a form across the desk. Security escort is now standard, if you request it. I nodded, grateful and tired. That evening, my mailbox held a handwritten note. His name on the corner, cramped letters, uneven ink. I stood under the porch light and read. He wrote that he chose quiet to survive, that shame made him small, that I misunderstood everything. He never apologized. He asked again for dinner. My chest tightened, then settled. I put the letter back in the envelope inside. I typed my own letter, the one I had drafted. I added one line. If you love me, let me be safe. I mailed it certified with return receipt. The next afternoon, Rowe called. Her tone carried something like progress. We issued charges for the girlfriend, harassing communications, and attempted extortion. I gripped the counter edge. Will there be a hearing? Yes. You will likely testify. I swallowed, then answered. I will show up. She paused. One more thing. Your father accepted a diversion. He completes counseling and stays away, or we file the case. I nodded into the phone. Works for me. At the arraignment, she strutted to the defense table, eyes flicking toward me like a dare. The prosecutor kept it simple. She read the texts, played the clip, listed the late-night knocks. The judge turned to me. Do you wish to speak? I kept it short. I want distance and peace. Her voice cooled. You will have it. Conditions issued. No contact, no posts, no proximity. The girlfriend rolled her eyes once. The bailiff shifted closer, and that ended it. Back at work, I met with my supervisor. We set a code phrase for security, mapped safe exits, and flagged my badge. My legs stopped bouncing for the first time in weeks. My therapist watched my hands stay still and nodded. You can grieve a living parent, she said. I looked down, then met her eyes. I am, and I'm not starving for scraps anymore. She smiled. Small. Warm. Then she asked, "What do you want now?" I answered without pausing. "I want quiet. I want a future that is mine." A week later, I spotted him across the grocery lot. He saw me and stopped. We both remembered the order. He lifted his hand halfway, then let it fall. I turned toward the sliding doors and kept moving. No scene. No speech. Just space. Okay. So here is the thing. I blocked his number, archived the paperwork, and kept copies at work. If I see him, I walk, breathe, and call security. Guilt still taps sometimes, but I remember the empty fridge, the 23 calls, the letter that never apologized. Boundaries keep me safe. So yeah, that is my story.